Hey, Jake Willens here, your writing and wellness guy. Today I'm going to talk about textual analysis of a quote in an essay. This is probably one of the most important and challenging aspects of your writing. Great textual analysis will take your writing from good to great. You really want to get into the text and grapple with it. When you think about good analysis, you want to think about getting into the how and why of a quote, not the what. So you're not saying what's happening in the book. You're not saying just what the quote means by paraphrasing it. You're really getting into how does it support my subtopic and topic and thesis, and why is it important? So get away from the what and into the why. You do not want to simply paraphrase the quote. You do not want to simply say, here's what the quote said. You can almost assume the reader knows that and go deeper into not what it means, but why does it support my point? The best analysis usually takes more than one sentence. It's very hard to do great quote analysis in just one sentence and quickly move on. A lot of times you might need 2, 3, 4 sentences because you want to really distill those golden nuggets of text. You want to get those keywords, those phrases, and rephrase them, reweave them back into your analysis to show the reader that you're really grappling with keywords and that you're really grappling with the text. You want to really engage in the text. It will also prevent your essay from sounding repetitive. If you have 4 quotes about fear in Lord of the Flies, that could get very repetitive. But each one might show fear in a subtly different way. So by picking apart keywords, you could prove the same point, but in subtly different ways. You want to think, last time I talked about context and integration. Think context, quote, analysis. Background, quote, commentary. It's almost like a sandwich. The meat of the sandwich is the quote, the text. But you've got to put the bread, the sauces, the toppings, and that's where your context and integration, that's where your analysis really makes it zesty. You saute it up, you add your own flavor, and you make it tasty. Strong analysis will link the quotes not only back to the thesis, but the subtopic, topic, and thesis. For instance, if your thesis is fear in Lord of the Flies makes order dissipate, you wouldn't want to give a quote and say, look, the boys are acting scared. How does that then make order dissipate? If your thesis is Ponyboy evolves and matures, you wouldn't want to give a quote and say, look, here he shows empathy and compassion. Well, why is that more mature and evolved than where he started? So a lot of times you need to go back to your subtopic, but you can't forget your overall thesis. Please consult your teacher for the approximate amount of analysis. Some teachers like a ton of analysis, others might want 1 or 2 sentences. Some teachers even like some of your analysis before the quote. I prefer for the analysis to be after the quote so I can see the text with which you're grappling. If you scroll down, let's look at the quote. Ponyboy says, suddenly getting help and helping others was not just a personal thing. I could picture hundreds of boys living on the wrong side of cities. Boys with black eyes who jumped at their own shadow. Hundreds of boys who maybe watched the sunset and looked at stars and ached for something better. There should be some help, someone to tell their side of the story. Let's assume your thesis where Ponyboy matures. Now, really weak analysis would be Ponyboy now wants to help others. He wants them not to feel hopeless and alone. That's basically just paraphrasing the quote. That's the what and not the why. A better analysis, Ponyboy is now mature and evolved enough to not only think about himself, but also desire to help others on the wrong side of cities, like him. It takes an impressive mindset to want to make a difference in the world, to get outside of one's own need, and to make this world a better place for others who ache for something better. Now that gets into the why. That says why that mindset is more mature. Notice how the author also got into the golden nuggets of text. The author re-quoted phrases from the original quote. You don't need to recite the page, but you do want to put it in quote marks. And he did it in a fluid way. She did it well, okay? Another quote, Animal Farm. Squealer and the pig say, comrades, you don't imagine, I hope, that we are doing this in the spirit of selfishness and privilege. Many of us actually dislike milk and apples. I dislike them myself. Our sole objective in taking these things is to preserve our health. Milk and apples, this has been proved by science, comrades, contain substances absolutely necessary to the well-being of a pig. We pigs are the brain workers, the whole management of the organization. Day and night we are watching. It is for your sake that we drink the milk. Now, and eat the apples. That quote might be a little long to use for essay, although it is a critical passage. Let's assume your thesis is that Squealer and Napoleon are effective propagandists, and they use it to take power. A really weak analysis would be, Squealer is trying to assure the other animals that they need the milk and apples, and they're actually trying to help the farm. That's basically just regurgitating or paraphrasing the meaning. That's the what. It doesn't say why it's good propaganda and how it increases power. A better analysis, Squealer employs several forms of propaganda by playing with the minds of the other animals. Even though it clearly is, he assures them it is not selfishness, requoted, but instead selflessness for your sake, again, requoted, that propels the pigs to take the food. He even capitalizes science, another key word, to make his message sound more official and emphasizes that the management depends on it. Yet another key golden nugget of text. Now, that is a much better analysis because it says, why is it propaganda? How is it effective? And how does it increase the pig's power? Now you're linking to your thesis. You also want to avoid vague pronouns after quotes. There's a tendency to say, this shows. That's kind of lazy, or it means. Well, what is this? What is it? A lot of times by forcing you to specify, you get to a golden little phrase of analysis. It also makes it so that you have to capture the essence of the quote right away. You never need to say, this quote shows da-da-da-da-da. Just start with da-da-da-da-da, because the reader knows you're talking about the quote. Name the this. What is the thisness? What is the it? Okay? Let's say we were using the above quote. You wouldn't want to say, this shows Squealer is a good propagandist. Well, what is this? Better. Squealer's ability to make the other animals think the pigs are taking the milk and apples for their benefit shows. Now you've named what the this is. Here the writer names the this. If you use the Ponyboy quote, you would not want to say, this shows Ponyboy is maturing. Well, what is the this of the quote? If you name it, Ponyboy's desire to want to help others like him have hope shows. Now you've captured the essence of the quote. All right? So you don't want to be lazy and use vague pronouns. Get to the this or the it or whatever the pronoun is. You also never need to say this quote shows, as I mentioned. Just get to right away, what does it show? The reader knows you're talking about the quote, you just gave it. If you scroll down, you'll see in the book, I give you practice. Now, always be practicing by being an active reader. Always be practicing by looking at quotes, talking about them in class. Why are they important? Not just what do they mean, but why are they important? To sum it up, great analysis. Most important part of good writing, probably most difficult. Get into the why and away from the what. Re-quote those golden nuggets of text and weave them in. And really link it back not only to your subtopic and topic, but also your thesis. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful and keep grappling. Namaste.